Revenge of the Fallen stars Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, Josh Duhamel, Tyrese Gibson, Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, Hugo Weaving as Megatron, and a bunch of other actors, and is the second film in the Transformers franchise, and what many people consider to be the worst film. Seriously, this won Worst Picture at the Golden Raspberry Awards in 2010. And it's my favorite guilty pleasure movie. Weird mix, right? Alright, so a little background. This movie came out in 2009 when I was having a not really great year. When I found out Revenge of the Fallen was coming out, I was pumped out of my mind. I couldn't wait to see this movie. Even my dad was pumped. Mom was kind of excited because she wanted to see what these movies look like. She hadn't seen the first one. And I was just so excited because I loved the first movie. I couldn't wait to see what they'd done with this one. And also because I was having a pretty terrible year, and this was one way of saying this is my chance to escape reality and to have a great time. And I did. When I went and saw this movie, it blew me away. It was crazy. Yes, it was stupid, and yes, it made no sense. But at the same time, just the idea of escaping from reality for that while and forgetting about the fact that there was so much else going on in life that wasn't great, it felt wonderful. And it did make up for a lot of things that happened over the rest of the year as well. In fact, every time I bought something related to Revenge of the Fallen, like the video game or the DVD or any action figure, actually, it felt great. And I always felt like this is that one point in time where I can just relax and, have a good time with what the year has to offer. So years later, now when I look back at it, it not only is my top favorite guilty pleasure movie of all time, it's probably also one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's not a great movie, not at all. This is something I knew when I saw it as a kid as well, but there's just so much fun in it that you just cannot avoid that stuff that happens. And that's why I'm reviewing this movie, because I really need to talk about how it may be a bad movie, but the fact that you still can enjoy it, even if it is so. Alright, let's talk about this thing. So the movie opens with this scene in 70,000 BC, which is basically just setting up the villain of the movie named the Fallen. Now, a lot of problems with this thing is that the Fallen, him being the main villain of this movie, barely shows up in the movie. He has like 5 minutes of screen time. Now, this is a really big negative. I mean, come on, you built him up to be this really badass villain. You had this badass teaser poster. You should have at least shown him a little longer. But his beginning is kind of convoluted. It's like, why 17,000 BC? What's that machine? Who are these robots? Who are these people? Okay, well, we know who those people are. But what the hell is going on? It's such a convoluted first scene in the movie that it really doesn't make sense. Yeah, this movie really makes no sense if you really look back at it in hindsight. This movie has one of the most convoluted plots ever because there's so much going on. The very next scene is a scene in Shanghai, which is this elaborate CGI-filled chase scene between this Decepticon who's a steel mill thingy and an Audi Decepticon, and they look really similar when compared to other Autobots like this guy. And there's these motorcycles, and there's this ice cream truck, and then there's the army not being able to do shit. Oh, that's Optimus Prime. And look at that scene. Look at this fucking scene. Is that not fucking awesome? Is that not the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life? And then there's this fucking line.
Punk-ass Decepticon.
Then it's followed by this.
This is not your planet to rule. The fallen shall rise again.
That's a lot for a first scene of the movie. I mean, you could just stop the movie right there, but then it's followed by this.
Look what I found. It's your little baby booties.
Oh, Ma.
Oh, my little baby booty boy, you can't go.
You see, that's how you're supposed to react when a fruit of your loins goes out of the cruel world to fend for himself, okay?
Yeah, my heart bleeds for you, pal. College, bummer.
You have to come home every holiday, not just big ones. You have to come home for Halloween.
Well, I can't come home for Halloween,
Well, then
Mom.
we'll come to you.
You're not
we're not going
to me.
anywhere.
Dress up. We'll be in costumes.
You
You'll never
can't
know
do
what's
that,
up.
Mom.
Would you let the
can't
kid
come to
breathe for
college.
crying out loud? Come on, go pack. There's no way you're packed for a month-long trip. Come on. Chop, chop, let's go. March, young lady.
Oh,
I love it when you call me
Dad.
young lady. You dirty old man.
No, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, Sam's going to college. Whoopity-doo. Oh, they take a long time with this subplot. You think that was just one scene? Then get ready for some more awkward humor like this.
Mojo, no dominating Frankie. Get the hell off the couch, you filthy beasts. See a lot of that in college, too.
Just cut back to the action. There we go. And we just got over one action scene. Can we just tone it down for this one? No? Megan Fox shows up again because she's hot. Yes, that's the only reason she shows up. I mean, yeah. And they have this cliched banter in which Michaela tries to get the I love you out of Sam, and Sam's just like, I adore you, and stuff like that, and it's just awkward humor again. Michael Bay doing a fantastic job at that stuff. But as Megan Fox leaves, there is a remote-controlled car which sends a signal to a Decepticon satellite above saying that the Allspark shard has been found. Yeah, that entire action sequence happened because Sam found a shard. This shard is very important. Remember it. They will keep coming back to that. So the shard's found, so oh my god, Michaela and Sam are in trouble again. Because of course they're in trouble again. You need this movie to happen now, don't you? Now there are certain things I like about the next scene between Optimus Prime and the NSA chief, a guy named Galloway. There's some actually pretty good moments in this. Galloway's basically telling Optimus Prime that him and the Autobots need to leave, and the fact that they're not leaving is causing the Decepticons to come back, and there being more attacks and more mess-ups like Shanghai. But at the same time, he also says if they're asked to leave, they should leave peacefully. To which Optimus Prime says,
Freedom is your right. If you make that request, we will honor it. But before your president decides, please ask him this. What if we leave and you're wrong?
these are the certain moments in Revenge of the Fallen why it makes it onto my favorite guilty pleasure movie. Such moments are rare in the film, and when they are there, they work really well. It kind of makes me think that if there were so many moments like this over the entire runtime of the movie, it could have actually done wonders. But then, just after you're done with this pretty solid scene, it's followed by the arrival of Leonardo Ponce de Leon Spitz. Who is that? Sam's roommate. You know, this guy.
What is all this for?
See where I'm going, bro? Look, call me gross. I want to be a baby billionaire. Getting counters. That's where I started. Look at me now. Gotta have dreams, bro.
Die, asshole. And in case you're wondering, this scene gets worse. After that, Sam's mom comes into the scene, and this leads to one of the funniest parts in the movie that is actually really upsetting if you laugh at this scene.
Pretty girls. Hey, you. My son lives in this dorm. You should go make friends with him. He's Sam.
I'm glad she ain't my mama.
Oh, and he recently had his cherry pop. He didn't know I was in the house. I heard it all.
Hey.
Here he is. Oh, he would get in my closet and dress up as Boy Spice. Hey, and his car is a talking robot.
No, like the GPS, OnStar. The OnStar thing.
Woo!
No, Dad, you're just gonna let it run around the school?
Whoa!
You already have one.
Judy, just put him down.
You gotta control your mother.
I don't know what it is.
Hey, Professor, I'd do anything for an A.
All right, Grace Slick, we got some snacks in the car. Let's go. Did you get the booties?
Dad, I got the booty.
All right. Come on.
I'm upside down.
I'm embarrassed. And then there's this scene, which is this breakout scene where they try to steal another Allspark shard. The satellite found it, and now there's this dinosaur robot trying to get it, and it starts vomiting out little balls, which combine to make this big robot. And the first time I saw this effect, I thought it was really awesome. Now when I look at it, I say, oh look, Terminator 2. Hey, whatever, man. You wanted your cool shot. You got your cool shot. But it's still pretty cool. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a pretty awesome scene. But at the same time, it's like moments. You have moments in this movie that are good. And then there are those moments which are great. Are there great moments in this movie? Yes. We're coming to a couple of them in a bit. But at the same time, you want these to stick because that's what would make or break this movie. However, as soon as this break-in scene where they steal another Allspark shard is over, this scene.
While he's making up with his MacBook, I'm gonna be getting my spitsy freaky freak on. Let's roll.
She's hot. We're hunting.
What does this have to do with the plot? So Sam can now see symbols because he touched the shard that one time, and this is sensed by this girl who's totally not a villain. Absolutely not. Let the film not fool you. And then Bumblebee arrives and he takes him to Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime's just like,
But I'm here for your help, Sam. Because your leaders believe we brought vengeance upon your planet. Perhaps they are right. That is why they must be reminded by another human of the trust we share.
This isn't my war.
Not yet. But I fear it soon will be. Your world must not share the same fate as Cybertron. Whole generations lost.
cool. Great, Optimus. Are we gonna get any fight out of you soon? So Megatron's resurrected. I mean, considering this movie is a sequel and the Decepticons are back, did you really think that they were gonna spare Megatron? Of course he was gonna come back. So he comes back and he visits his master, the Fallen, and this is part of the 5-minute screen time. So these are the first 2 minutes he gets, where he basically explains that Optimus Prime needs to die in order for him to come on Earth and have revenge again. Here's my question. Later in the movie, a robot mentions this.
The Fallen was stronger than his brothers.
So why doesn't he just go? Why can't he just go kill Optimus? Why does he have to send Megatron to do it? Isn't he as powerful as the... I'm digging too deep into this. I'm not supposed to. So Sam has a meltdown in class, who calls up Michaela, and Michaela finds the remote control car. Oh yeah, that dude's still here. We'll talk about that guy in a minute. And then she brings him along to his college in a suitcase. And that... I mean... And then this girl comes back and she ambushes Sam, and again, she's totally not the villain. She's totally not... Of course she's a villain. So a helicopter comes and picks up the car they're in, this incredibly epic shot, and then they're dropped down a building, which should totally kill them, but then it doesn't kill them because fuck science, fuck physics. I mean, look at that fall. That should totally have killed him, but it didn't. Now, this is the moment I was telling you about. I told you there are a couple of great moments in this movie. This is one of those great moments. Optimus and Bumblebee arrived to save Sam and Michaela and Leo because they needed him to tag along. You know, you need that awkward humor in this movie. And then after that, there's this incredible scene in a forest, which is this fight between Optimus and 3 other Decepticons, one of them being Megatron and the other being his first lieutenant, Starscream. It's a great scene. It's wonderfully done. Watch this stuff.
Is the future of our race not worth a single human life?
Get up!
You'll never stop at one. I'll take you all on!
like this is what I look at and I'm like, this could have been a really great movie if you just focused on stuff like this. If you did not focus on the awkward humor in middle of all this stuff, if on just stuff like this, you could have had a really good movie. But while you are having this, savor it. Everybody calls this one of the best scenes of the series. It is, by far. The scene is amazing. The only problem with this scene is that some of the camera movement is kind of shitty. It's like the shaky cam. You don't need shaky cam. You can shoot steady action sequences. You can do this. People have been doing it. You don't need a shaky cam to do it. Just saying. Just saying. So Optimus Prime's axed off. Is this gonna add to the runtime of the movie? Oh, you bet it is. And the Decepticons arrive with these overly reused shots of the first movie, like this shot. And this shot. But who cares? There's shots reused from the movie itself. So remember this shot of the Decepticon satellite? Here's the same shot all over again. Even the mouth movements are the same. What the hell, man? What the hell? This is a huge budgeted movie. You could just as well have animated new shots. What's the reuse for? That's incredibly lazy. But who cares? Because this happens. And this happens. And this happens. And this happens. And then Fallen says that one line, the one line we've been building to this entire movie.
Revenge is mine.
For what? Your brothers are dead. You've got what you wanted. What the fuck are you getting revenge for? What more do you want? Now here's two more characters in this movie who are these two Autobots who have been called many things. I'm not even gonna comment on these guys because enough has been said about them. Instead, I'm just gonna ask you to observe and see why people get pissed off at these guys.
This is kidding me. Enough is...
Yo, lay out!
This thing's gonna give me a heart attack, I swear.
That's because you're the
You
one.
guys forced me into that car, right? So...
Oh, I think he's scared.
Hey, Mudflap, what are we gonna do with this shrimp taco?
Just bump a cap in his ass, throw him in the truck, and then nobody gonna know nothing, not me.
Yeah, not in my
Yo,
trunk.
bumper cars? Check it out. I'm hearing you, okay? I'm right here, and I can hear you. No one's popping any caps in any asses, okay? I've had a hell of a day.
Why don't you get a haircut with your bitch ass?
Go whine to your boyfriend.
I mean, I can't tell. Can you tell why people are getting pissed off at these two characters?
Hey, you know the glyphs? The symbols that have been rattling around in my head?
Ooh, that's old school, yo. That's Cybertronian.
Oh, that's some serious stuff right there.
They gotta mean something, like a message, or like a map. Like a map to an Energon source. Can you read this?
Read?
You see
Nah,
that?
we don't really do much reading. Not so much.
Well, if you can't read it, we gotta find somebody who can.
Oh, look who came sashaying back.
Hair growing like a chia pet. Look at him.
I had a
Look
bit
at
of a
that.
mild panic attack earlier, right?
That's because you a pussy.
I can't tell. I'm pretty sure it's something, but I can't tell. And so they track down, for God's sake, him again? Why is he doing this? Why is he in a deli chopping up meat with these guys? Why is this there? What is this thing? He's got a secret floor? I mean, come on. And he just happens to have every single thing Sam's looking for. These are their symbols. These are where they can find robots who would be able to understand these symbols. I mean, why did you have to bring him back? His story arc was over. over. So they use the remote controlled car and they go to the Smithsonian and they resurrect this SR-7 on Blackbird, who is this all-robot named Jetfire. Jetfire's kind of cool, actually. If you've played the video games, he's a pretty cool character. In the movie also, he's got some nice moments. And he gives this entire backstory on the Fallen and why what exists. And he explains what the symbols mean and how Sam can use the symbols to find the matrix of leadership. Again, convoluted plot, right? It's coming back now. So the matrix of leadership is this ultimate weapon which is used to power this machine called the Sun Harvester, which is hidden somewhere in the middle of the desert in Egypt, and they have to find it before the Fallen gets to it so that he does not activate this machine and destroy the sun, so that he can harvest that power to create more energon, and so that will cause the entire planet to slowly die, and then it'll be eclipsed, and then the Autobots won't be able to do anything because the Fallen's too strong, and then they will have failed their mission. But the Fallen can only be defeated by a Prime, and the only Prime who could do it is Optimus Prime, but Optimus Prime is dead, so Sam has to now bring him back to life using the Matrix of Leadership, which he has to find, which is somewhere in the middle of the desert, and there's some tomb which is in the middle of some other place in the middle of the desert, which is in Petra, and then there is the pyramids where there's no security so they can live in the middle of the So Sam decides that there is a way to bring Optimus Prime back to life, so Optimus's body is brought to Cairo via this amazing entrance, and then you have loitering around of the army. There's an EMP wave, they can't contact anyone. Sam is running miles with Michaela because, oh yeah, Michaela is still in this movie. Hi! So we have terrible editing with the reused shots. We've got an overlong movie coming up. This entire finale lasts like an hour. We've got a pretty terrible screenplay with the awkward humor and stuff like that, and those two racist robots. And you've got some not very great direction as well. You have no idea where this is going. The best you could do is now, because you're setting up this huge action sequence in Egypt, which is the most explosive thing I've ever seen in my life, but we'll get to that again in a minute. The thing is, it's so weird how you could get rid of many elements in this movie which were upsetting, but you don't. And just when you think that Leo and Simmons are like it for this movie when it comes to the humor, and you're just like tired of the stupid humor, guess who else shows up? You know, because we totally wanted them back. Why wouldn't we? So Bumblebee gets his moment in the limelight, this incredible fight, and you've got Starscream just circling around like a little bitch. At the same time, Megatron unleashes Devastator. Now this scene, again, back to those great moments in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Here's great moment number 2. You could redeem the twins right now. Make them do something really, really cool.
You'll never eat me. I'm gonna bust your face up. Don't nobody mess with me. In your face.
Keep fighting, Mudflap.
Nobody messes with the twins.
Oh my god, that is so awesome.
Oh man, you shot me in the face.
Ah. Man, shut up. So the big finale begins because that began an hour ago, and then they have this chase and explosions, 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 deaths, blood, robots, people running.
I hope these F-16s got good aim.
Yo, where's that?
I told him to hit the orange smoke.
You mean that orange smoke?
It wasn't my best toss, okay?
Viper, thunder.
Explosion! Sam's killed by Megatron because fucking end this movie! And they have to bring him back to life, but he goes to Transformer Heaven.
You have fought for Optimus, our last descendant, with courage and with sacrifice, the virtues of a leader.
That's a sentence I just said. And he comes back to life because now apparently he is worthy of the Matrix of Leadership, and now it is no longer powder, it is now a thing. So he takes the Matrix of Leadership and hang on. You know, for a guy who got shot in the chest, you look pretty solid. Look at that body structure. Are you sure you got stabbed, dude? Or blown up? Because you look really good. Just saying. You look like a brand new guy. So Optimus comes back to life, and the Fallen comes, and he activates the machine by taking the Matrix away, and then Optimus is given parts by Jetfire to stop the Fallen. They have a bit of a fight. Megatron gets half his face blown off. The Fallen and Optimus enter a fight. Optimus says this fucking line.
Give me your faith.
Because that totally sounds like what normal Optimus Prime would say in the middle of a fight. You know? Give me your face. Yeah, Optimus Prime is just a fucking psychopath. And he kills the Fallen, and these two jackasses run away. And these two jackasses apparently survive. Oh, and Devastator got blown up earlier in a very bitchy way. Yeah, they're still alive. Why can't the parents of these kids just die? And then you have the awesome closing shot, and you have Optimus Prime just saying thank you to everything. Cue the Linkin Park music. And that's Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Is it a good movie? No. But my god, do you enjoy it nonetheless. It's got a terrible script. It's got a terrible direction sense. It's got terrible editing. It's got subpar acting. And it's a complete mess. But the special effects, the sounds, and I'm gonna say this even though I didn't mention this at all in the review, the score is really, really good. The score is actually so good that if you listen to it without watching the movie, you'd swear it was for a completely different movie. That being said, this movie did still get a lot of hate. Am I gonna be the one who says I like it? No, I didn't. That's kind of why it comes under the guilty pleasure list. That's why it's a movie that I find so bad that for me it's actually pretty good. But that's just my personal preference. Not everyone has to have the same guilty pleasure movie. At the same time, it's a nice flick if you just have nothing else to do on a day. But, I mean, where else would you find a movie where racism, robot violence, and sexism, and, well, every other thing wrong with society were mixed into one movie?